coaches, watching the evals, looking at all those traits, seeing how that translates on the grass, and then getting them to know their profile and seeing if they're overachievers or underachievers.
Just coming into this program, being able to bring Coach Knighton with you, just how has that helped you kind of assimilate to the culture and the mainstay here, knowing that you can bring somebody like that with you, and you know he's easy to work with?
Yeah, I mean, one is family, right? I mean, that when you know that you leave the room, that the things that he's saying are going to be echoed from the top down. You know, from Coach Norvell to myself to the position coaches. You know, so whenever you're working with family, that's important. I mean, number two, his relationship with the players. I mean, I've seen that guy take a group of guys who were, you know, just a group of guys when you walked in to being brothers. You know what I mean? With the investment in time, with the way he teaches, with the way he builds relationships. I mean, you see that, and there's a reason why those guys play their butts off for him. So just being able to have that continuity, have like my family in the room, in the D-line room with such an important group, it's really important.
You and I were talking a little bit about Coach Malzahn earlier, just what he brings, the experience that he has, and what he likes to do offensively. How does that help you kind of sculpt your vision of what you want this defense to be?
Yeah, you know, you said it best, iron sharpens iron. And, you know, you look at Coach Malzahn, you know, and I totally had a different perspective on it. You know, I thought that he was going to be, you know, throw the ball around the park, you know, all this kind of stuff. And just at his roots, at his core, he wants to run the ball. Like, you know, he wants to be physical. He's preaching physicality and toughness. And I tell you what, whenever you got that on that side of the ball, again, it goes iron sharpens iron. You know, it'll make us better. It'll make them better. Just being able to go against each other and see those things every single day, I think that mentality will play dividends in the end.
Getting Daryl Jackson back for another year is huge, not only for that position group, but just the defense as a whole. What have you seen from him the past few months since he decided to return? Is he approaching things with a little bit of extra motivation? Just what have you seen from him?
I tell you what, D-Jack is a great example of the culture in terms of you have a guy here who could have left. Had a high draft choice, had a high draft rate going in there, right? And he comes back and very easily could be a guy who like takes a back seat, like whatever, I'm gonna be gone, I'm gonna do my thing. And yet it's so far been completely opposite. I mean, he has done everything he's been asked to do, taken on more of a leadership role with those guys on defense and in the defensive line. Just a guy who you see as a program guy, and again, that's a testament to the culture around here and how much he wanted to be back playing for Coach Norvell, myself, for T. Knighton and his brothers in the locker room. You know, so looking forward to really big things from him.
What do you like about the rest?
How competitive are you at practice?
How
competitive are you going to be with Gus every day of practice, every week? Is that something that kind of drives you, like winning practice? Does that matter to you?
Oh yeah, I mean, we win today. You know what I mean? So no matter what drill it is, we're going out there to win. Now, you're never going to compromise the process. You know what I mean? And so like, there's certain things that I'm looking for where, you know, the advantages might be geared to the offense. Some drills, vice versa, might be geared to the defense. I care about the process being right, because I know if the process is right, then the players, no matter what the situation is, they're gonna learn to find their way through those difficult situations. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I want to win everything we do, but I want the process to be right for our players, for our staff, the way we watch meetings, the way we go about walkthroughs, the way we script, the way we attack individual drills, whatever it may be, our process better be right, because then that'll carry you through.
Coach, I know obviously you got a chance to evaluate these guys before you take the job, but now that you've seen tour duty, now that you're getting ready for spring, how do you evaluate this defensive unit?
Yeah, athletic. I mean, secondary-wise, you got guys who have some length, some twitch, some speed, some explosion, good hips. I mean, really looking forward to that. Linebackers, I mean, you got a hodgepodge of guys in there. I mean, guys who are athletic, guys who are veteran, guys who know, really mental. You got some guys I'm interested to see those guys run around as a group. And then up front wise, same thing with the guys who are coming back, the transfers who we added to the class. I mean, you got a really athletic group, size, length, speed, explosion. So now it's on us to make sure that we use all those elite traits, put them together, make sure everybody sees things the same way, and then let them go out there and play and hold them to the standard. I mean, that's the thing is is you can be all fast, you can be all jump high, you can be all strong, but if you don't understand what it looks like and you don't hold them to that picture, then you're not going to get the results you want. So we need to hold them to the standard.
How much of spring is going to be about is trying to figure out the right pieces that fit in the right places? How much mixing and matching, I guess, is there going to be coming up here?
That's a great one, because that's exactly what spring ball is for. I know everybody has this on the chalkboard. Everybody has this starting position, but you're going to see through spring. We're going to put guys in different spots just to get a feel for what they can do. Number one, I don't know. It's going to be my first time watching them live. Go out there and play the ball, tackle, all that kind of stuff. So I may have a thought now, but then as you get through spring practice, this guy might be a really good corner, but then you move him to safety, and now he's a first-round draft choice safety. You know what I mean? Or vice versa on the D line. The guy who's interior guy, you move him outside, and now he adds a whole nother element to his game. You know what I mean? So we're gonna move guys around just to get a feel for it, but that'll come with the coach's input. That's why I value those guys in the position room, just being able to guide that and tell me and things I can't see. So it's gonna be a big deal this spring.
Do you have a timeline for when you want to stop doing that, or want everything to be kind of set in place, or is that always constant? How does that work?
Bama. I mean, whatever week one, whatever that date is, then we'll figure it out, because just through trial and error, had a guy, we went into the season, preseason camp thinking, hey, this guy's going to be here. You get an injury, and now it shuffles the whole deck around the week before the game. You know what I mean? So the more we can mismatch, the more we can try guys at different positions, expose them to different things like that. Then you never know what the roster's going to look like, going into week one. So it'll be beneficial to us later on.
So on the updated roster, it looked like James Williams had added about 10 pounds or so.
Yeah.
For him, his maturation, not just physically, but what has to happen, the next steps in this game, I guess, how big is that?
Yeah, it's great. I see him. I mean, he's actually got quads now. Before he looked like a wide receiver. If you covered his upper body, you just look at his legs, you thought he was a wide receiver. And so it was a joke, but now, I mean, he's developed, and that's a testament to Jaden down in nutrition and Coach Storms down in the athletic performance sector. I mean, just to see him grow and develop, and then obviously his relationship with T. Knight. And the great thing about him is how much he's grown with the guys around him. I mean, he's having fun. He's loving where he's at. So to see that come out of him, it's a special deal. But now it's the next phase, and he knows it, and he wants to step up his game.
Have there been any leaders that have emerged, or can you even be a leader until Wednesday? Like you getting on the field, is that when real leadership?
No, the unconquered groups that coaches put together and stuff. You're seeing guys stand out from the rest. I mean, Donnie is a guy who does everything right. I mean, you see Juice, he's up there and all the points and all that kind of stuff. I mean, Daniel Lyons has been up there a couple times, gotten recognized for the things he's doing off the field. As I said, D-Jack beforehand. I mean, you got different guys in different areas. I mean, Ed, Q, those guys, when they were doing tour of duties and stuff, you guys see them jump up to the front, and really a Conrad, even though he's been injured, he's been in tune. So you're seeing a maturation process from those guys, which is kind of cool. Like, you're seeing guys who are injured, guys who are performing high, some guys who were backups before, and they're all pushing forward to be in those leadership spots. So you got to give them a chance to do it, and this is their chance, and we'll see what happens.
How much is it? You've watched all these guys on film. You've been here around them for 2 months. But how much can you really know about a football player until you see them in front of you playing football?
Yeah, we have the saying in the defense side of the ball, right? There's a chalkboard. And so that's all the running, the lifting, the testing, the profile, the unconquered. You have a chalkboard view of everybody, but then when you get on the grass, man, that really separates you from the chalkboard, And so being able to see these guys and get around them on the grass, and I said this earlier, I think being able to see what their process is, you know what I mean? Like our responsibility, our privilege is to make sure that these guys, when they get on the grass, they're the biggest, strongest, fastest but most confident version of themselves, right? And so it's our responsibility to make sure that they are confident. I mean, confident in their ability, confident in their knowledge, their techniques, and all that stuff. So that's what I'm interested to see is who's going to go in there, who's going to show up early, who's going to be rolling out there, who's going to get treatment after, who's going to get treatment before, guys who in the meeting rooms who's staying late, that's what I want to see, because if we can make that, if we can get everybody to buy into that process of being great, then the X's and O's part will take care of themselves.
Jack linebacker, I guess, what goes into deciding what kind of traits are you looking for?
That guy's a big defensive end, but he may drop a little bit more. So he's like your true hybrid guy. Like he is like against the run, he feels like a defensive end, but you can drop him in pass coverage and back, so he's got a little bit better hips, maybe not as 270, 280 type guy, that kind of deal, but really a truly hybrid type guy. So maybe give you some pass rush, a lot of pass rush in those situations. So that's why he's a little different than just a traditional end.
Is there anyone, I know you're going to be doing mixing and matching, like said, Amari Williams, I guess, who would be guys that you'd say, okay, could fill this position for?
I mean, there's a lot of guys there now. Grant Felder, Amari, James Diggs is there a little bit from time to time. We're rotating a lot of guys in there just to see. Because again, I know what they look like chalkboard wise and drill wise, but to be able to process information, to be able to go out there and perform and stuff like that is going to be completely on Wednesday, day one.
So James is athletic like that to where he could potentially drop back in the coverage.
Yeah, we did that with him in Nebraska. So he's athletic enough to do those things. Yeah.
And some of the other defensive line additions in the transfer portal, you mentioned Diggs, but you got guys with experience to add in there, mix and match. I guess what do you see from that group and how can they contribute?
We were right in T Knight, the scouting department. Those guys back over there, Chuck Tanner. Those guys did a great job in terms of identifying the guys that we needed and really the traits that were needed in the defense. All of them can move. All of them have some length and size to them. All of them are 270, 280, 290. Explosive, twitchy. So you have the athletic traits there. So now again, it's our responsibility to kind of. It'll be uncomfortable at first, moving guys around, learning different deals. But at the end of the day, you'll be able to have a set of defensive linemen that can go from playing a 0 to a 9, guys that can beat you up just playing technique, or guys that can beat you moving, guys that can pass rush, guys that can play the run. So it's our responsibility to make sure that they're confident in their ability.
The Rover position, I guess what goes into that physically? What are some of the skill sets there?
Yeah, he's a DB, but he's probably the DB that might be just a little bit more better in the box every once in a while. You put him down in run situations or blitzing, those kind of things. You separate him. So I have a couple guys working in there as well. It'd be cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys do, because the Rover, the Mike, and the nose. Those guys are in the middle of the defense most of the part. So those guys are the guys that are really making a lot of plays in the defense, right down the middle of the defense. So again, it'll be fun to watch those guys.
What do you like? What you see from Darryl? How is he attached to the offseason? How he's handling it with the new scheme?
Yeah, he's been a leader. He's been a guy who has every reason to pull back and slack off and be selfish, but he's actually completely opposite, being selfless, being a leader, showing up early, doing what he's supposed to be doing, and improving. The great thing with T Knight is he's trying to challenge him in other areas. We know you can do this, D-Jack, but let's look at these areas and let's grow this area too. You know what I mean? And it's been fun to watch him. So it's gonna be a good sprint for him.
What's the biggest challenge for him, and how you want to see to bring the best out of this defense and then in the scheme? What's the challenge for him?
Yeah, I think the challenge for him is understanding that he can dominate the game. If he truly wants to, every single play, he can dominate the game. And there's a difference. When you watch a player and he knows it, there's no stopping him, versus a player who thinks he can. You know what I mean? And I think D-Jack right there, he believes he can, but there's gonna come a point in time where he's like, I'm the best football player on this field. And then when that light turns on, I think then you'll see the top 5, top 10 draft choice in him, because he's got everything there is. He's got size, athleticism, super smart, all football type of guy, low maintenance. He's got all the traits of a top 10, top 15 kind of guy. And now it's going to take one or two things for him to do in a game that's like, I'm him. And then it'll turn on.